It's time once again. Welcome all to the February 22nd, 2022, 6:15 p.m. open session meeting of the Ayer Planning Board. Before I get to the approval of the agenda, I'm going to get to read the governor's message once again.
It never grows old.
You know, if you don't listen to yourself read it, it's new every time. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, in accordance with Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, open parenthesis, OML, close parenthesis, comma, public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by joining Zoom meeting ID 833-6548-0732 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Heather Hampson, Administrative Coordinator at hampson@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 144 prior to the meeting. First on our general business is approve the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Do we have a second?
Seconded. Woo-hoo.
Thank you, Ms. Murray. I'm sorry. It's 2022. We're going to a kinder, gentler space. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Julie. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, we're going to go in Hollywood Squares tonight. And I'm first. So, Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Julie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Nathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. There are no covenants or bond releases, which brings us right to the discussion of the zoning bylaw amendments for the annual town meeting, which puts our friend Mark Archambault squarely on the spot.
Okay. You will see in the packet that we got the public hearing notices out for public hearing, which will be held at the next planning board meeting on Tuesday, March 8th. So that is when we will hold public hearings to correct the minimum lot size in the light industrial district. And secondly, to reorder the definition section of the Ayer zoning bylaw and clarify a few definitions for multifamily housing, dwellings, and I think dwelling unit. And Alan decided that he would work on the form-based code corrected references for the fall town meeting, so that won't be happening in April. So we will not be holding a public hearing on the form-based code changes in March. So if anybody would like, I mean, we probably shouldn't go into a lot of depth here with the amendments themselves, but we could just do a quick review if you'd like. I'm able to share the screen if you'd like to see these, unless you feel it's something you want to save for the next meeting.
I just
like
have
to
one
see it.
observation.
Yes.
It looks like, remember we had a comprehensive discussion of definitions of either one meeting ago or 2 meetings ago. And then casually afterwards, we had some discussion about the use of the word family and defining dwellings and dwelling units. And then what I noticed is that in the new definitions that we proposed for the town meeting is that we've successfully defined them without using the word family. And I just want to thank whoever did that, did a nice job. So whoever did it, whoever worked on it, whatever team, nice work.
Right. I'll take credit for that, even if it was unintentional. That might have been.
Can you put it up on the board, Mark? May as well go through it.
Yes, yes. Okay. Why isn't it showing? Okay, let me make sure that I have it open elsewhere. For some reason, it wasn't showing. Okay.
It's just like having the Mondo in the room, isn't it?
This is easier than the Mondo pad.
I'm loving, I think Zoom
Nope,
allows
that's not
so
it.
much, so much better participation, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah,
I know.
unless you can't find what you're trying to share on the screen.
Oh, take your time, Mark. Take your time.
Oh, here we go. Okay, can people see this?
Thank you. Yes, I
Okay.
can.
All right,
Yes.
so that's definitions. One thing I discovered after we had our discussion at the last meeting setting this up was that something that Ken actually flagged was this substantial or significant portion, which he believed was a general definition, which would otherwise go far to the back of this whole list of definitions. But on reading the adult entertainment section, which I will not read now, should be rated R. It was
I'm looking at it
obvious.
now. It's pretty
I
exciting.
know, no comment. But the substantial or significant portion, that definition actually refers back to the overall adult entertainment restrictions. And what this means is that, you cannot exceed a certain percentage of your retail floor space with adult material without being classified as an adult business. Below that, you're just a convenience store, I guess. So that's why I put these bullets in there, and that's why I highlighted those things. So it would be, obvious. It's not new. This was in the bylaw before. This is just to make it clear that these are sub definitions of that adult use major definition.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
like that. Thank you.
Okay.
It makes it a lot
But-
clearer the way he
but-
set it up, Mr. Chair.
But thank you. I know I do appreciate that, Ken. Thank you very much. Here's a quick trivia question for the members of the board. Do you all know where the adult entertainment section is in town? Show of
Think so.
hands.
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, now you've got something to look up. That's
Yeah.
okay, Mark. Thank you. I know,
one of those.
actually, what's odd is before Bonnie and I moved to town, I was checking on the zoning about some things, and I was surprised that it had one.
Do you know why?
I am assuming it has to do with Devon's, but let's keep going.
No, I think for the record, I just want to, for people wondering why the heck we even have a provision for adult use. It's because if a town doesn't have a specific area zone for adult use, that means that by right, that someone with an adult use business could go virtually anywhere that's zoned for business. So that's
Thank you.
why we have an
Yes.
adult use district. It's not because we want one or soliciting one. It's so that we have some control.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you,
Very,
Jonathan.
very good point, Jonathan. I noticed that Pauline has raised her hand. I will
we-
defer to Jeff if you
Yeah,
want to take
finish
this
what we
after
got.
I go through these little changes here.
We'll take questions at the end of the meeting if they're still there. Thank you.
Okay. Then going back down, we just made sure that things were in correct alphabetic order. Then when you get to dwelling, it actually was termed dwelling unit. I think we decided to term this heading dwelling, cross out unit, and then what you see in red ink is what is new. So a dwelling is a building that contains one or more dwelling units used, intended, or designed to be used, rented, leased, let, or hired out to be occupied for living purposes.
Nice.
And we added a definition of dwelling unit under that, as well as clarified two-family dwellings. And then just a little bit further on.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's it. Mhm.
That's right. So, and we took accessory apartments already defined above in the major listings. And that is it. I think there might have been one thing that had to be reordered, but basically it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I think there was something in the S's that was out of order in the
Yep.
S's.
Go back up a little bit.
Yeah,
Mark.
go back. It might have been a sub. It might have been a sub, but it's ready to go.
It's right-
I'll be.
Do you
I took
remember what it was, Ken? I don't remember.
It's the item that's before sign is out of order.
shopping center sign. It's okay now.
No, keep going up to the word sign.
Oh,
Oh,
Those are subsections of sign.
thank you.
okay, that's right. If I didn't catch it, it's not too late to correct this
Right
at
there.
the public
Uh,
hearing, actually. So what is it? Ken.
Did you already move it? There was special permit and
Yes, it's moved.
substantial reconstruction. You moved
Yes,
it?
yes, they've been moved, Ken,
Okay, thanks.
because SHSI is perfectly fine. Yep.
Okay. All right, then if we're done with this one, I will.
Hold on,
go-
let's see where it went.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Keep going. Well, I actually
Oh.
saw it when you scrolled down.
You want me to go up or down?
Down, please.
Yeah.
We want to go to the where the S's would be in the normal alphabet
Yes.
that we
All
all
right, here
think
we
we
go.
know.
Seasonal
That's
sign.
good.
Little
That's all
more.
good.
Yep.
Keep going. Yeah, those are all signs.
That's
Wow.
all. There's subsections to signs. Keep going. There it is. Subdivision sign is there, but solid
Okay,
waste special permit.
Solid waste.
Wait a minute, still not right
There's-
there.
Oh, permit granting authority, yeah. Oh, wait, no,
No,
that's special.
that's
permit
special
authority.
permit.
That's correct.
Roll back up, please, about 3 definitions. Just the bottom. Please leave the bottom quarter of page 17 on the screen. Thank you. A little more.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wait a minute. Okay, so see where, excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Please go ahead, Ken. We're just working in discussion mode. So
So
go ahead.
you can see what happened here, Mark. There's a section special permit granting authority, but then you've got the word street in the same paragraph.
Oh, that's what I
Oh,
meant. Okay,
that's good catch.
that's it. That was, okay.
That's,
I'm writing this
whole.
down.
that's the next
Okay.
diff-
Okay, Mark, you won the bet. You knew Ken would find it.
All right, so page
I owe
17.
you coffee. Yep. Special permit granting authority
So
paragraph. has the
street
word- yeah,
needs to be,
Yep.
right.
Good job.
Street
Good catch,
needs a
Ken.
spacing. Good catch, Ken.
This stuff is pretty easy.
Yeah. Okay, we'll fix that and we'll be fine. As long as we acknowledge this at the hearing and we correct it, obviously, for the,
Yeah, the street was always
warrant.
there. You just added,
it just, right,
put special permit granting where it belonged alphabetically. I
right.
had a street. That's good.
Yep. Was that it? I think we're getting down towards the bottom here.
Yeah, the last one that this is very
Wireless.
tiny, Mr. Chair, very tiny.
Oh, and no, Ken, this is the time.
Oh, yeah,
to
zone
do
1,
it.
2, and then there's zone 3 at the
Yeah.
very end,
There you
which
go.
could be
That's it.
indented.
I'm
Yep.
blaming this. I'm blaming this on the guy from the West Coast, whose minions put this together.
All right, so zone 3 and street just needs a correct spacing so they show up correctly. Okay,
Thanks.
all
Mark.
right, if we're done with that, I'll go to the table of use regulations, which is the other thing. And I'll go back here, share my screen again, and this time it should show up. Yep. Okay, very quickly, we'll correct this typing otherwise, but light industry, 120,000 square feet crossed out to be 20,000 square feet. So
Mhm. I had a question about this, and I'm going to float this in front of the board. We're very close to tables like this all the time, dimensional tables and stuff like this. A light industry with below 20,000 square feet, we assume that means minimum lot size. I didn't look elsewhere, but does it say anywhere in the bylaw that says you'll see the zoning district, and below it, that number represents minimum lot size for that district?
Well, it says it right on the chart in the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah,
This is
at the top
district
of
and
the
minimum
table.
lot area.
See, like I said, it's right in front of me. Thanks,
That's all
Jonathan.
right. No, it's no
No.
problem.
I read these all the time, and I assume I was just operating from what I think I know. That's
Mhm.
great.
Okay.
Wow.
You know
See,
what?
you-
He could make that easier by the way it's set up. It says district and minimum on the top line, but it really should say district on the top line and then
yeah,
Minimum
minimum
lot
lot
area.
area on the second line. So it jives with the rest of the table.
yes.
And
that's correct.
if you unbolded minimum lot area, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I actually read that, Jonathan, district and minimum lot area, and then I'm looking down at this and I saw the asterisk and the star, and I
Yep.
thought to myself, I know what we're talking about, but do other people?
Yeah,
Also-
that's a pure typo. So as long as we
No,
get
no
the
worries.
master of this table, we could correct that.
Yeah.
Great. If not, I'll rebuild the table for you. No one will. And then, so we refer to other, so the other question I had on this, and this is nitpicky, okay? Residence A1, residence A2, general residence. We refer to general residence on the zoning map as GR. We refer to residence A1 as R1, R2, GB, LI, I. I don't know that healthcare services are mixed, and I know mixed use transitional is MUT. Do we want to put the abbreviations there that match the zoning map? That's just, that's art in my, that's not necessary to my mind, but that's all. I just put that out there. If we're touching it.
I think it makes sense. Anything that reduces confusion is good.
Okay. And then we got to put a blank one on there for MBTA, right, Mark? We'll talk about that later.
I know that may, yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. That may be a combination of some existing districts.
It will.
We may not need to create a whole new district for that.
We won't be, I believe we will not be creating a district for it. I believe we will be putting it that we do have. It's just going to be, as we've discussed before, we'll talk about it later. I have that on the list for old business.
Right.
Later
Okay.
on. Okay, great.
So I'll
Thanks.
stop this share.
Yep, thanks, Mark. And I appreciate, and if you want help, I think I may have a copy of that table that can be edited, so.
Oh, that would be great, because I'm not sure. I know in PDF, obviously, you can't edit it unless you have a special PDF program, but.
I think I just said that.
Yeah, but if you, go ahead, if you can fix it.
Yes, yeah.
And send it to me, that'd be great.
Be my pleasure. I need to remember to do that, but I'm sure we can get it done in the next 2 weeks. Next 8 days, because I want it available on the website in time before the meeting. Okay, great. That takes care of the bullet points we're going to take care of, because as you mentioned, the form-based code corrections for the West Main Street form-based code district, and actually they overflow into the Main Street form-based code district, are going to be taken up at a later time when Mr. Minoyan can get, when Mr. Minoyan has that information ready to go. Thank you. Okay. A discussion of available land prioritization and acquisition considerations. That remains on here, and I feel like I've been repeating this an awful lot. Anybody have any questions about this? Because I think I've spoken about it with, I think we've all been at least one interaction where we've spoken about it. And for the members who weren't at the last meeting.
I don't know. Agenda.
Sorry, Ken?
I don't find that on the agenda.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm sorry.
Confused, Jeff.
Thank you. I printed it out before I pulled off the original one. Thank you. It's not there. It doesn't need to be there. I get early agendas, guys, and I make corrections to them. This is my right hand. This is my left hand. They don't know what they're doing.
We could take that up under old business, or
yeah. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say on it, to be honest with you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ken. Ready to town planner update. Thank you very much.
Okay. I wanted to bring to everybody's attention that Heather did some really good work for us. She compiled the signed notices of decisions for all the recent site plans, as well as the recent subdivisions that we've had the past 2-3 years. So I was able to send the site plan one early in the morning. I just sent out the subdivision decisions, which I found in my inbox somewhere missing. So we have all those together now. I'll create a folder in my computer, which will have them all together. So if there's anything else, any other decision that is not in that compiled list that you would like, maybe that goes back a little bit further in time, we can get that as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also, to keep going, I've started working on the rock removal blasting regulations, and I found a few models. I was hoping that I'd be able to share more this evening with that, but it's taking more time than I had originally thought. It's kind of technical. I'm learning as I go, but it's still in progress. I've fleshed out about 2 pages worth of things. There's a planner in Drake-It that sent me some information that I should incorporate into that. So I'm hoping that by the next meeting, we can, look at the draft that I have.
Oh, Mark, thank you very much. I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to jump in if I may.
Sure.
Lo and behold, I'm looking at our neighbor community Groton's zoning bylaws the other day.
Mhm.
I got nothing better to do with my life. Earth removal. Chapter 134, subsection something in the Groton one. It is much more extensive than and it's not exactly down the same lane as what we were thinking, what we've been discussing, but a quick gander at it, literally 10 minutes of reading through it, just a quick read through it. I think you begin to understand and that was done in the 60s and it's been updated since then. But I think we'll begin to understand what was happening with earth removal and rock removal and why the communities out here saw it as a valuable resource to permit the removal of for different reasons. So I just put that out there. And if y'all want to look at it, it's Groton. I mean, it's not that long, but I don't want to, I'm not going to dig into it now.
Interesting that I did not look at Groton as an example, and they're right next door, but did they address blasting and ledge removal as well?
Well, so as
Real
you
quick.
said, it's actually very complex. You think putting a shovel in the ground or drilling a hole in rock would be a simple thing. Rock removal in our eyes, or my eyes, it's a disruptive thing that happens, and you want to be able to embrace rock removal for developments to happen, but you also want to be on the side of the neighbors and not living in a crappy place for a long time. But not all communities call it rock removal. Many call it earth removal. So earth removal is the tent's bigger, if you will. There's more stuff underneath earth removal, and earth removal conversations have come up before. So I thought I want to laser focus on rock removal, but the questions people have said, why do we need a permit for earth removal? And what I discovered is Groton actually has a fairly verbose. It's not exact, but it covers lots of it. So like I said, Mark, a quick read through it, you might find an aha moment in there. But I think the whole idea behind the rock removal is, should we end up in a situation where we'd have 365 days of blasting or drilling or banging? That's just unfair to the neighborhood. And with 7 to 7, 7 days a week or whatever, or 7 to 8, 7 days a week, noise bylaws, we really got nowhere to stand if somebody's unhappy with that. And if we look at the land we've got that's going to be developed, it could just be really just painful for everybody involved.
Right.
So, and I went longer than I expected, but that's why. But oftentimes we'll see it as not rock removal, but see it as earth removal.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Still working on that. Also wanted to give the planning board a heads up. Ken and Jeff know about this because we had a little sub meeting with the applicant, but New England Power Company, NEPCO, will be doing an expansion of their substation at 65 Westford Road. And it's a relatively simple site plan, but we decided that it's good for them to go through the whole exercise. And that will be on March 22nd for the site plan review for that.
Okay.
So the plans just came in. I'm still going through the checklist and all, but it looks quite comprehensive based on our discussions.
They got them to you already. Wow, that's great.
Yeah. They're eager. So
it's amazing what you can do with a computer when you've got the answers, or
right.
you have a goal in front of you.
Yep.
That's great.
Yep. So that's what I have for an update this evening.
Yep. So next on our list, that's announcements. Next on the list is status of current ongoing development projects. And as you all know, we've been trying to, when we don't have big places like the Molten property digging, banging on our door, or something across town that really takes a lot of attention, we've done a lot of work. So we're going to do a quick status update on what's going on with Shaker Pond, Curly, Panther Place, Pleasant Street Extension, Catania, Spania, Ayer Solar 2. And if anybody thinks of anything else, you can ask about it. But I guess I'll ask the question. Shaker Pond Road subdivision, I'll just touch it quickly. 2 buildings are built. The sewer has been put in place. It's been connected to the top of Snake Hill Road, and it's been approved by the town. So they've got 2 buildings in place. I don't think they have any COs for those buildings yet, but they have.
Not yet. I checked with Charlie. So Yeah, the 2 buildings are going up and they're just applying for 2 more building permits,
Yeah. And
which
so,
haven't been issued, but so potentially in a few days, there'll be 4 building permits out
yep,
for Shaker Mill Pond.
yep. So Shaker Mill Pond, all the land work was done. Now they're building slowly. Curly Circle subdivision off Littleton Road. I have not gone inside there because it's busy.
Yeah,
Mark, what do you got for that Curly Circle?
Charlie told me that there have been 6 COs, certificates of occupancy, issued there. 7 or 8 buildings are currently under construction with building permits, and the rest have yet to come. So it's building out fairly rapidly. So I would imagine that by the end of the spring, most of the buildings will be under construction.
Yep. And I want to welcome our new neighbors on Curly Circle to Ayer. It's a wonderful place to live. Ken, you have a comment?
Yeah, just as a follow-up, Mark, without having it right in front of me, but is there 17 that we approved in there? Is that the number? Nathan, you remember?
Yeah.
I mean, I can look it up.
I thought it was 19, but I could be wrong. I don't have it right in front of me.
Well, It sounds like they've got 6 and 7 is 13, so they're 2/3 of the way.
Yeah,
on
they're
the
close.
permits, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had the borrow piles put just to the right as you drove in on the west side of the property, on the east side of the property. I assume this is going to be the last place that's going to go back out, be used as topsoil throughout the property. So I'm assuming that's where the last foundations will go in. Okay.
Now, just for follow-up on that particular one, and this has to do with the bonding, I guess. So we basically he hasn't requested any of the bonding be reduced, I don't think, that anyone can recall.
Not that I'm aware of.
I haven't heard anything about it. No.
Okay, just, I didn't think so.
No. Thank you. Panther Place off of Washington Street. Ken, you want to take that one on? You drive by it every day, or Jonathan? You guys go by it more often than I.
I'll take it on.
yeah, if you would, you have more intelligent things to say than I would. Go ahead.
I go by it every day and walk by it most of the time. So the long and the short of it is that he's well underway he's actually breaking up the frost to install the underground drainage systems at this point in time. So there's been enough engineering done down the center line of the road and down the small cul-de-sac to the left to get 3 pretty large excavators in there and a 4th one that's not being used to excavate and install the structures, the drainage structures. So that's the first thing that's going on. Basically is, the whole place is clear of, it's that subgrade, I guess is the term you're looking for at this point in time. And the structures are going in. And yeah, he's gonna go right through the winter, the rest of the winter that's left, I guess, and keep putting
Unbelievable.
structure.
Well, one of his challenges is in order to put those 2 buildings that are on the road, the 2 duplexes he's building and the other 3 A&Rs farther up, if it's 3, I believe it's 3 A&Rs, is he needs a sewer connection. So he's got to get the sewer connection built, which if you recall, is all the way down in the back.
Right.
The sewer pump
Right.
station, it's gravity down to the back of the property near the NHESP line, at which point then it's force fed up to the main on Washington Street.
Right.
So he's got to put the structures in, do the site work, and get the gravity sewer in order to connect those homes and be able to have them occupied. It's an interesting solution to a really interesting problem. So, though I think he may have connected the duplexes to sewer through force on or through gravity on Washington Street, because you have to have a sewer connection in place to get a building permit. And there looks like there are cuts in the road there where he may have connected.
No,
No? Okay.
all he's done on the road, he's just done the water. Brought the
Oh,
water.
I'm sorry. Okay, the water, yeah. Okay, great. So that's it. Pleasant Street Extension. I am less familiar with that. I know some folks, I think on that one have been before the Conservation Commission. So Mark, or
Yeah,
who wants
that
to
one,
talk?
yeah, Charlie said that one's under construction. CO Harbor is the contractor. There have been 4 COs recently issued. There are 3 buildings under construction. And I guess, occasionally problems about drainage and other things have been coming up there. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with that one either, but I know that, the Conservation Commission has had to oversee that fairly closely.
Yeah,
And you might recall that, yeah, back, I think a year or so ago, the DPW had some concerns with, I think, street lighting and also not Jersey barriers, guardrails or something in that subdivision.
I have a
So,
couple. Jonathan, do you have
Yeah.
anything? I can.
No, please go ahead, Ken.
Okay, so I do walk that as well. And right at the moment, there's 2 homes to the deep, let's say to the it's northeast, I guess, but
Mhm.
on the far right off the cul-de-sac, the last 2 of the bigger homes are being built. And they've also been breaking up frost to put in their trenching from the main street, which would, be for water, electric, and other underground utilities. But there are no streetlights in that project, as we know, because it was done before this board was in place. And they asked for a waiver. So there is no street lighting ever going to be there.
Yep.
But in my estimation, it's, I can't comment too thoroughly on it, but it lacks some of the things that we would like to see in another subdivision.
I'm going to not speak in defense of the decision made by the board that I was a member of when this was approved, but I am going to speak, if I remember correctly, the conversation was, we're not a dark sky community. And it being so far back in amongst an area of the town that has no other unnatural light at night, that it was an acceptable trade-off in that neighborhood. Whether or not current board members agree with that decision, that was I believe, the conversation that was happening at the time. And I'm not arguing, Ken. I believe that was how it was thought, because there are some communities in this area of the world where the lighting on the homes itself or on the garages provides enough light for safety. It's a cul-de-sac, it's not a drive-through, and the neighbors kind of pitch in, if you will. But it also allows the people who the species that lived there before not to be impacted by errant light. That was a conversation that happened about it.
One thing I
okay.
would like to, we
Yeah.
should, as a board, I think what would be important for us as a board is to take a walk there and see the condition of the paving that's up there, the binder course, the structures that were installed, and see the difference between some work that's going on currently and work that was done in the past. And one of the things that they did, which is they put their structures in, meaning the covers, frames and covers at grade. So they then have to put a little collar of pavement around the structures because they're at grade, not at subgrade. And of course they get wrecked, during the rest of the construction, especially when you have to plow the street. So I think if you look at some other developments, you'll see that the structures were put at subgrade with the binder course. Then they raise the structures to the finish course. You know what I'm talking about, Jeff? When you bind the perimeter of the structure with concrete, and then you get the finest finished product.
Yeah, and I agree, Ken. Having been involved with projects that went through this multiple winters in a row, this is one of those arguments that developers get in. It's cheaper to do it this way. It's better to do it that way. It's almost a chicken and egg. And I agree. I would like to see I would like to see the structure go in at binder and be raised when it goes to finish coat.
Right. So anyway, we should take a walk as a group and just, take a look at the ones that are active and see if we notice anything that we can learn from.
It comes down to how the job is bid and what the developer accepts typically. And I don't know if we have any leverage in that situation, Ken.
I think our subdivision regulations now have added a lot of sequences that weren't there before. So we might.
Okay, good.
Might be better.
Good, because ultimately what happens is we get a better quality road that lasts longer before we have to spend money on it.
Exactly.
And if you guys have been doing the reading, the readings I've been sending out, and if you dig around a little bit, you begin to understand what a mile of pavement costs us to
A lot.
maintain.
That's right.
Yeah. And when you drive around in a 3,400 pound truck to, go get your groceries, it beats up the road faster than a 1,800 pound car. So anyway, Catania, Spagna, amazing work over there. That's Nathan. Come on, Nathan, you've been watching that every day.
Yes.
I
Give it to
do. I didn't put together a PowerPoint on it. But
We'll let that slide. Go ahead.
okay. Yes, they're done with their underground wastewater management or water management, and they've got that all paved and using that for parking. It's clear when you drive along, I guess that's Nemco Way. You can see the tops of trailers right off. So I'm glad they're going to put that guardrail in at some point. I'm looking for that in the future. It is a severe drop down to their new parking lot. And then the building is getting insulated. I think they'll have it enclosed before the snow on Friday. So looks like then they'll be moving to interior work, but it's moving along still quickly.
I have to say, I went by it. Today's Tuesday. I think I went by it last Thursday or Friday, and I kept saying to myself, when are they going to start putting up the paneling on the vertical structure, on the vertical the metal ribs that they put around the entire new section? And it's there. I mean, it's almost like it just hadn't been delivered yet. But it's amazing how much got put up in the last week or so. And if you didn't know the amount of work they were doing there, you never would have known how much work happened.
It's true.
Up to this point, it's just phenomenal what they're doing. The actual amount of work. Yeah.
It's a clean site. It's clear that they are queuing their material nearby in Ayer. All the styrofoam, I think, the roof got delivered. So they're really managing their resources, I think, pretty efficiently from what I can see.
Yeah, they've got a great relationship with their next door neighbor, and they're actually rented space from them for queuing their stuff. Exactly. So excellent. Okay. Any other comments about Catania? What do you say, Ken? Should we let Julie talk about Ayer Solar too, or do you want to do it?
Give it to Julie.
Actually, I have a few
Give it
comments.
to Jonathan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jonathan's got it. Yeah. Anyway,
I do have a few comments, and I'm not sure that I'm actually kind of thinking out loud. I'm not sure the best way to express this, but I'm a little concerned that there have been nothing dramatically bad, but there's just been just little things. Well, one is that, a little over a month ago, someone was injured on the site, and under circumstances that may raise questions about why was someone there alone, et cetera. Now there's a porta potty on the site. There hadn't been one, but there's just little things about the site conditions and in the maintenance of the site that just make me wonder if we should encourage, I don't know if the appropriate authority is Charlie or not, but someone to take a peek down there, just make sure that they're really following the processes that we approved as a board. I'm not saying that they've definitely violated them, but I think there's enough evidence to suggest that it merits a look. That's my point.
No, thank you very much for stating that. Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Do you mind penning a quick email with that concern to the building?
Oh,
to the
certainly.
building department?
Yes.
Yeah. It could be Charlie. It could be Alex. If you
Yeah.
guys don't know, Charlie's got a second in command now.
Right, Alex.
And Alex is really good. So no, I think that's I think we were all surprised to find out about the excavator issue. And I'll be honest with you, tipping over an excavator is easy to do once it starts to move, but it is really difficult to get it to move in that direction. No, it's a frightening experience if you're inside the machine when it happens. I've been in smaller machines, and it's one of those, oh my God. Do you guys ever have what they call the thank you man when you were a kid? you drive in the car over the lump in the street and everyone would come up off the seats
Oh,
and
yeah.
feel weightless for a split second. When you're in a large machine and it starts to go like that,
Oh,
it's a very unsettling experience. I mean, I've been in skid steers that have tipped over backwards. They are actually designed when they reach a certain point to go over backwards. If you're not clever with the bucket and you don't counterbalance it, they'll fall. If you take a look at a skid steer, the back of it is actually angled and it will stop itself when it goes over backwards. But there's that moment of, oh, gee, I'm going to roll over backwards and and you can do nothing about it. But it's kind of like being in the car when it goes over the bump in the street. It's a feeling of weightlessness and no control. So I'm actually glad. I mean, I understand I don't believe if you're talking about the excavator incident, the person wasn't injured badly.
no.
You know.
Well,
But,
I'm glad. But
yeah.
but they could have been. I mean, it
Yeah.
just, that's my point, is that,
Hey, I
you
agree.
know, it wasn't just an accident. There were protocols not followed.
Yeah.
And that's what that I find a little bit alarming. So,
Yeah. And actually, I don't know if you had known this, and this is OSHA showed up the following day.
oh, phew. Okay, thank
OSHA,
you.
no, it was reported to OSHA.
Oh,
OSHA
thank
showed up.
you. Good.
On the way to that job site, they drove by another job site in town and recognized that people weren't following proper guidelines on that job site, and they got fined, and they got written up and fined. And now if you drive by that job site, you see that people are wearing the pre-appropriate tethering equipment when they're on top of the buildings, which we want to happen. Okay. But unfortunately, Jonathan, it's not, we have to rely upon our building department for enforcement, our code enforcement officers who are doing a great job. But as you heard last meeting, we're writing hundreds of permits now every month. Lots of permits are getting written, so it's hard to stay on top of all that outside of the regular inspection. So otherwise, Ayer Solar 2, besides that comment,
I got a little more.
they got a little more, Ken?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
as an abutter, I want to be careful with my, I have no influence, in any of the voting. I stayed out of the meetings, which was, what I had to do. But unfortunately, I get a chance to see it all the time. So the thing that was interesting, still is interesting to me, is that the time and effort that was spent by the planning board and by conservation, and especially at the entrance road where a retaining wall is scheduled to be built and retaining walls along the entire side of the wetland are scheduled to be built. Yet the contractor is now installing the solar panels in the field, installing the framework for the solar panels. So it looks like they're able to use a temporary road with no safety precautions as they enter Washington Street. Yet we actually got submitted to the planning board designs that showed how traffic was able to look both sides standing at the road. So the road isn't not even close to being complete. No drainage, nothing in the road, just graded off with machines, not even a bulldozer. There's never been a
Right.
bulldozer site. It's fascinating. And they're just driving in and out on the mud and so forth. So the apprehension as an abutter that I would have is that unfortunately I looked at the decision and I felt that in the draft decision or the draft discussion, there was a requirement that the final certificates of completion, certificates of occupancy, whatever the term would be on this project, well, we're going to require a certification from the engineer that all the work was completed in accordance with the drawings, typically as-built drawings. I couldn't find it. And I kind of thought that was a discussion that was had in the process. It may be in conservation, there's language in conservation's approval. So I feel that the conservation oversight and the environmental engineer that's going and representing conservation does have eyes on the project. But the sequence is totally different than I would have thought. I just, for some reason, thought this would be staged where you'd build a road, get it to the culvert, go over the culvert. You would not be putting in the solar panels structures prior to roads being built. Just doesn't make, it didn't add up to me as far as that's my, the way I saw the drawings. I was actually encouraged by the drawings. They were so really thorough. So that's my apprehension as an abutter.
I appreciate that, Ken. We did have we had a fairly extensive conversation with GPR about that. I know we don't have the oral history, if you will, of the conservation but I'm willing to, honestly, let me follow up on that, Ken,
Okay.
about that, okay? I've been watching it. I haven't, I typically see that from the other side, but the rail trail has not been open recently, and I've not gone in on the other side. I was in there probably, well, before the last time it snowed and iced up on the rail trail. I think, Jonathan, I saw you on the rail trail that day.
That's right, exactly.
And I believe there are no structures there at that point. So I appreciate your comments, Ken, I really do. And Mark, why don't you and I try and figure out a way to follow up on that? Okay. And again, it might just, we'll find out where it stands. Okay, Ken?
That's
And
good.
it'll help also with the decisions that we have. We'll take a look at that also. And I want to thank Heather also for putting this together. Okay. Any further projects that people are interested about currently going on in town? I think we pretty much tackled them all.
I've been checking on Central Ave. Everything's still going well, parking and all of that over there.
Oh, yeah, right.
I go by it as I would be the neighbor there. I know, Julie, you have connections with the folks there. There are some times when I drive by and it's cringeworthy to see what's going on, but it's only for a few minutes. It's oftentimes when they're moving vehicles on and off the property. It's going to happen everywhere. It's interesting to look at from the street. They look very, I'm interested to see what they look like when they build. They've got the, just so you guys know, about a week or 10 days ago, they came in the space of 2 days, blew in the foundations. The forms came in, the foundations were formed in, they were poured, the forms are gone. They're now putting they're now attaching wood to the top of it. And they were working on it today, I believe, but I didn't get a chance to go by today. It's a busy enough spot that stopping in the car to look doesn't work out. Oh, and back to Mark's point about the site plan review we're going to see for New England Power over on Westford Road. Got a good chance, Mark, to sit there, and Ken, I got a pretty good chance to sit there today on the side of the road, get out of my car and look at it. And I think they did a really good job of describing to us what they're going to do. So I don't know if we're going to, as soon as you can get the plans, Mark, as you can get them figured out, I'd appreciate just the overview plan going out to folks so that we can tell them, so we can have a conversation about it with a picture in front of us.
Yep.
And we can get a little bit done between now and then.
Yeah.
Because you guys will be driving down Westford Road, it makes sense to stop and take a look at it. Of course, Nathan's going to become the man on the person on the spot out there, because Nathan's going to watch that one for the town also next year, in a few months. Okay, meeting minutes. Mr. Krantz, you are amazing. Thank you.
No, so I have a comment to make on these. So the January and the February minutes, those just were, the edits I made were simple typos, and those are straightforward, and I feel very confident voting on those tonight.
Right.
However, the May 12th one, if you noticed, had at least 3 areas where I made a comment where I couldn't understand what the intended sentence meant. And I needed feedback from you guys on the board to disambiguate the sentence. In other words, what is this supposed to mean? And I had limited ability to correct it because I wasn't sure where the sentence is going. So I don't know if that one's ready to vote upon, because I don't know if you guys have had time to give feedback on that, on those particular areas. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? If you open it up, you would have seen what I'm talking about.
I do. And I appreciate your email, and that's why I was saying what I'm not being facetious when I say I really appreciate what you did. So I did also read the May 12th meeting meeting minutes, and it very quickly became apparent to me I'm going to have to watch that meeting to disambiguate.
Okay, thank you.
A fair amount of stuff is conflated,
Right.
and I think that's okay. Heather was not available. It's vacation week. I'm glad she's getting a chance to get away. And so she may have sent us a draft. I don't know the answer, but it would be too much work to, as you say, disambiguate what's there. So I'm perfectly happy to table those minutes. It's not,
They're not
it's-
ready.
it's gone far, it's gone long enough. And I honestly think I may be responsible for this because after the May 12th meeting, I'm not sure I was in town at the time. And Heather and I had a conversation about it. And I may have told her I was going to do something. I got to chat with her and find out.
Okay.
We missed something. We apologize. We'll get it done. But the January 25th and the February 8th, I think are probably perfectly fine.
Right. I'd like to make a
work
motion. I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as edited for the January 25th, 2022 planning board meeting.
Second,
Thank you, Ken, Jonathan, for the motion. Thank you, Ken, for the second. Is there any discussion about the minutes for January 25th? Hearing, seeing none. Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
yes,
Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan
Aye.
and Julie?
I have to abstain, right? I wasn't there.
Okay, thank you. I can't recall.
Yeah,
January
I
20
wasn't there.
Good.
I think I'm not allowed to vote.
Okay, and the chair will vote aye. February 8th, yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the February 8th, 2022 air planning board minutes as amended.
second,
Moved by Jonathan, seconded by Ken. Any further discussion, members of the board?
Yes.
Hearing none. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Nathan has something.
Yes, go ahead, Nathan.
On the fly edit I saw is members present. I should not be there.
Oh,
yeah, Nathan and Julie didn't go to that one, right?
I apologize for not catching that, Nathan.
That's fine. It's correct in the absent. So you got the right idea.
Cut, copy, and paste. Again, blame it on the guy from the West Coast who's made too much money off of software. Quick show of hands. Who worked with WordPerfect? No, I'm sorry, Ken, you were going to say?
So Mark will pick up that change, right?
Oh, yeah, that, right.
Yeah,
Just-
So you can
thanks.
make that edit. We can vote to approve, Mark?
Yes, that's
Okay.
for the February 8th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do I need to,
Yep.
to amend my motion? Or are we good to go?
Why don't, so I would just say as amended.
Okay, as amended. Yep, that's just. that's
Thank
it.
you. Mr. Ken, does your second still carry?
Yes, as amended.
Thank you. Okay, great. Any further discussion? Hearing none. We'll start with the, go ahead, Ken.
So just for clarification, and for anyone who's watching, the minutes will be amended before the signature is put on by the chairman in person. So we're not, we're authorizing the changes at the moment, and they'll get signed in person when the live copy is available to sign
Thank
with
you.
the change.
Thank you. I'm going to start with the abstainers. Julie, how do you vote?
I abstain, and I will
Nathan,
attend
Nathan,
more later.
Nathan, how do you vote?
Abstain.
Thank you. Jonathan?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you. Administrative announcements, old business and new business.
I have
Under
an
old bit, yep, go ahead, Ken.
My request is that if Pauline wanted to make a comment, she had her hand up earlier. So now that's old business. So if she wants to ask her question, she can ask.
Thanks, Ken. No, I'm fine. I had a comment about the zoning, but we'll just do it another day.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anything else on old business? This one crosses the line between old and new business. Anything on new business on any people's minds this evening?
If you want to talk about the affordable housing stuff at all in the 40B that's hanging out there.
On my list was the MBTA zoning and the Fitchburg project, which I prefer to think of as a local initiative, but comes under chapter 40B. Quickly, let's talk about MBTA, if you don't mind, because I think it's going to be quick. It should be quick. MRPC did a recent presentation. Karen Chapman from MRPC sent the slides around. They're the same slides we have all seen pretty much, with some edits for MRPC only. As a matter of fact, the presentation I did for you guys, which was just those 8 slides, I've had requests for those from communities because it, makes it smaller, makes it easier.
Yep.
They have to sell it. We have to deal with it. So I dealt with what we have to deal with. People are beginning to understand that it's a request for comment period from the communities. But as the director, I'm sorry, it wasn't the director. I forget the gentleman's name. He kept coming back to a single point. It says shall in the law. Someone would ask a question. He said, the law says shall. It's not a choice. So your community has to figure it out. Mark sent out some communications about this recently. I think it falls kind of squarely in Mark's court to figure out what our next step is going to be. We shall look at this. We shall respond to the request by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts before, I think is it May 8th, Mark?
No, May 3rd.
May 3rd. So we have a little bit of work to do. It's going to come back to us before then. But really what it comes down to is we shall comply with this, and we shall be in a position where we know what our questions are and what the things that may or may not have to happen at fall town meeting in order to have a housing production plan that can rely upon an underlying zoning bylaw that shall get to the numbers they're requesting and requiring at some point in the future. And that sounds really ominous, but we don't got much to do, I don't think. Ayer just happens to be in a good spot.
Yeah, I think we are. I think we're fairly close. If we don't meet it already with a little bit of, GIS work, we're very close. I think we're in a much better situation than many of the communities. So what I plan to do internally here is to form a little group just for a short period of time to delve into the back, expand on the back of the envelope calculations we've done, to really make sure whether we meet it now or what we need to do to meet it, and to look at a few options that we can discuss as a planning board. I plan to fill out the form for the Commonwealth on May 2nd, but that'll be after we've had a chance to evaluate where we stand in respect to the legislation.
Yeah. And I'm going to say something. You used a great word earlier, Jonathan, disambiguity. Okay. Contiguity was used multiple times in the last presentation from MRPC. Contiguous.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be contiguous.
That's important.
You need to have, I don't believe it's going to impact us because of the way our zoning just happens to be. We got lucky to a large extent, but it also doesn't have to be contiguous space. It has to be a certain amount of space. And these are questions that were being asked and have to be fleshed out on our behalf. But like Mark said, there's not a lot. I don't think there's a lot of heavy lifting on this to get us to where we need to be. And to be honest with you, we may not have to change very much, if anything, at this point. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
So that's one. And Ken, did you want? I'm sorry, Nathan. Yes.
Just to be disambiguous, you used the word 2-3 minutes ago, building production plan.
Yep.
I just want to be clear. This is only asking for by right zoning. There's no shall to have a production plan for buildings. Is that correct?
So I'm going to let Mark answer this after I take a stab at it. A building production plan is part of a community's forward-looking, but it does not necessarily state that we shall build those buildings.
We can't.
We have a house.
Exactly.
Right. We have to allow for a certain density, but we don't have a quota of units to meet.
Right.
We have to allow, for a certain density by right, but whether they're built or not, you know, depends on, on market forces and everything else. So yeah, Nathan is correct that we don't, it's not tied to a production plan that Ayer will provide 400 more units of multifamily housing by 2030 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, as long as we provide the zoning that will allow that to happen, that's my understanding.
And I agree with your understanding, Mark. And what it comes down to, people keep coming and going. So I'm trying to figure out where you all move to on the screen, Nathan. I'll look at you when I talk to you. Building production plan goes hand in glove with what Mr. Diston's going to talk about in a moment with the 40B. A building production plan is looked at by the, yeah, you're going to talk about it, by the Commonwealth, in that every community has to be at a minimum 10% affordable, big A affordable housing. And the term of art involved in chapter 40 is a production plan. You have to have in place an underlying structure in your zoning that does not work as a barrier to attaining the Commonwealth's requirement of 10% affordable housing. And they refer to that as a building protection plan. Okay. So even though in your world, I got to build 30 of these, I got a production plan to build 30 of these, that's not, it's a term of art, if you will, but thank you for asking. You wanted to talk about, Mr. Diskin, Ken, you wanted to talk about Fitchburg Roads project?
Well, before I move on to that, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to just clarify a couple of things for Nathan and others, that the term is housing production plan, not building production plan. And just for clarification, and the Ayer Affordable Housing Committee completed that housing production plan, and it's on the Affordable Housing Committee website. So there is a housing production plan that is in place in January of 2021 that was put in place through the Office of Economic, Community and Economic Development, headed up by Alicia Hersey. So there was a grant or some issue that we worked with Montechusett on probably in 18 and 19, or maybe even before that, but it was completed in January of 21. So that's just another piece that was put in place by the Office of Community and Economic Development to make Ayer compliant with other regulations in the state, and puts us in a position to get grants and other things that you need to have these plans in place to be qualified for. So anyway, a couple of quick things on the 40B is, as was reported to the Affordable Housing Group and the Affordable Housing Trust and the Affordable Housing Committee, is run into some delays and some snags. So right at the moment, they need to work out some details for that project to keep going forward. So it's not a fait accompli at any stretch of the imagination right now until they overcome some financial issues that have been presented to them. So that's unfortunately not good news, because it slows down what we thought was going to be a project that was going to come forward. And I'm sure they have good intentions, but they're working on it at this point in time. The other thing that was interesting was that you saw the same article in the paper. We haven't heard a peep out of Devon's about any other Vicksburg Square projects, yet they talked to us a good year ago about, coming forward with something, be it Vicksburg Square or something else. They, in the meantime, are doing a lot of residential homes over there, but really nothing to help, the town of Ayer in the affordability area. So, that just moves on its own.
Yeah.
And I did happen to attend, and I just offered this to you guys. I attended a meeting last week by the acronym is CHAP, but it's community housing, and I get the exact name, but they're the major outfit in Massachusetts supporting affordable housing. And they ran a Housing 101, and I have a lot of their slides, and they sent me links to I don't know how many things. So I'll send it off to the Affordable Housing Committee because I already talked about that. But if anyone else wants it, just you can let me know. And it does give us a lot of information about the terminology that's used in affordable housing, and some of the other things that come up for different housing projects. So it may be beneficial, but anyhow, just a thought.
Thank you, Ken. And you're right. I used the wrong term, housing production plan.
Yeah, and I got
That's exactly what it is.
I got one final thing under new or old, whatever you want to call it. I think it's very important that the planning board now reach out to the Board of Appeals, Zoning Board of Appeals, and invite them to the March 8th hearing on the changes that we have talked about in the discussion so far. So they're in attendance at the hearing because some of the things that we're talking about straightening out, specifically in the dwelling, are some of the areas that they've had questions about in the past. So I'd like to make sure that they're involved with the opportunity to attend those hearings in the event anyone on that committee has a comment on the definitions that we clarified, is the word I'm going to use.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ken, I'll be able to reach out to Carly, who can send that invitation to the ZBA members.
Okay, thanks.
So yeah, I'll extend that.
I know I'll see at least one of them driving by, not too soon, not too late, not too far in the future, and I'll stop Jess and make sure she gets the invite. As you guys may know, Jess Gugino, Conservation is also on ZBA.
Mhm.
Probably on something else too. She's CPC with you,
Yep.
Julie? Yeah, exactly. A lot of people doing a lot of things in this town. Yeah, CHAPA is a great organization, and Ken reminded me of it, but unfortunately I had something else going on at the time. Any other questions? Any old business or new business that we're looking at?
What's this
Remember-
electronic folders thing about the notice of decisions? What's that, Jeff?
So there was good. So we're working on making sure that we have access to decisions and other important pieces of paperwork that we would like to have access to. And Heather's been pulling the pieces together. She's away for the week. How we're going to solve that problem is to be determined, TBD, but it's going to happen pretty quickly. At this point now, you received an email that has a handful of the decisions that were signed and put in place. So of the recent ones, and then we'll start building the trove of information for ourselves. Okay. Sometimes the information has to go to record. And if you guys want, I'm more than happy to take 20 minutes, half hour, and walk you through how to actually do a search at Registry of Deeds. I do it all the time. It's one of those skills that I'm so happy I don't have to drive into Cambridge to do it. And on all the registries now have pretty much, they're all using the same tool set. For a long time, each registry used their own tool set. And you had to learn different tool sets, and some registries charged for it. But the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has changed that now. Also, if you spend some time in GIS, like the Ayer assessors maps in GIS, you'll learn a skill set that's good for a lot of communities in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. They're all starting to use GIS and use the same level tool set as you go in, which is helpful. Like you're sitting here trying to dig through some information about something, you can look it up pretty quickly. Anything else from anybody's minds? Pressing questions? If you are up for re-election, please pull papers. I'd love to sign them for you.
Thank you. Yes, you'll be hearing from me, everybody. Yeah.
Okay. I'm guessing you're gonna get 4 signatures from this crowd, but I ain't promising. You're a tough guy, Krantz. You know how it is.
Yeah, I know how it is. That's all right.
But no, I appreciate that, Jonathan. With that, a motion to adjourn, I think, is appropriate.
So moved.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. We've had a couple of neighbors. I'm sorry. We've had another neighbor here on all evening long. I don't want to.
Chris?
Yeah, Mr. Valentine.
Chris Valentine?
Yeah, don't know if he has anything to ask us or into.
No, gentlemen, I'm just here for the entertainment.
Imagine his disappointment. Yeah.
I was going to say,
No, honestly, I just want to try and join as many of these planning and zoning board meetings just because it's something that I'm interested in from a resident's perspective. I have zero interest on persuading any Devon's Crest movements or anything like that. Not here to pick an argument, just here to learn. So that's all.
No, and thank you very much for saying that, Kristen. I grew up in a household where I was probably 9 or 10 years old when zoning was talked about all the time at dinner and things like that. So no, seriously, my dad was involved with zoning all over Massachusetts. And if you got any questions, Chris, I'm happy to opine on it from my standpoint. but it can be arcane, and I get things wrong, as Nathan pointed out. I was doing building production, not housing production, and worked on housing production plans since Chapter 40 existed, because it's required. It's an HPP. It's required by Chapter 40. So anyway, thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. With that said, Mr. Krantz, Jonathan.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Made by Jonathan, seconded by Julie. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. I know, we'll do that in minutes. Thanks a lot, Mark. Safe
All right.
drive home.
Yeah.